moon and back and across the Milky Way. It's Cosmick Talk with Chris Natalini and Mick Michaels. News, movies, and more.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Cosmick Talk. This is Season 1, Episode 4. I am here with my co-host, Chris Natalini.
What up? What up?
And I am Mick Michaels. Welcome back, everyone, to another show. Chris, how you doing, my brother?
Hey. What's up, Mick? How are you, sir?
I'm fantastic. How are you during this limited summer series?
I am doing well. Time of recording this, it is warm today. I am super excited about that. Got a little sweat on. Kind of happy about it.
I got a little sun today. I'm trying to get rid of that pale look. Like I have, the older I get, the less pigment I seem to have. So I got to quickly go through the lobster look so I can get that nice brown look.
That nice bronze.
Yeah, that bronze. I guess that was
that bronze. That's right.
Well, when I think of bronze, I think of those old ladies that've been hanging at the beach like for 55 years and they're like shoe leather. You got to go by and you buff them up a little bit, get a sheen to them. I don't think I want that look yet, but a nice brown coat is nice.
Just a nice brown. That's right. Just a nice little brush of brown. I get it.
When I was a kid, man, 2 hours and boom, I was like, I don't know what happened to it. I guess it all fell out. It dropped to my shoes.
You got older. You sweated it out.
I sweated it out, I guess. I don't know. I used to find that in the summer my hair would grow like crazy because of the sweat, and now it just gets all knotty and I can't do anything with it. So
bro, mine's like one big dreadlock when I'm sweating. It's just one. It just gets one big dreadlock.
Oh, it's terrible. It's terrible, and then it never dries. So
never dries.
Never dries. Never
dries.
So, anything else going on with you in your rock star world?
No, man. Nope. There is nothing going on. Preparing for the last mix or so of the execution order record, and that's it, brother. That's it, man. Just looking forward to getting that kind of completed, and we can move on. And a couple dates coming up in the summer I'm super excited about. So that's it, man. That's it.
That's awesome. I'm looking forward to hearing that. Looking forward to hearing it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You think it's going to be out before the end of the summer, or are you looking as a fall release?
By the end of summer, we're hoping it'll be out, but we'll see. Awesome.
We'll see. Awesome. I know
you know how that goes. Singles and
believe me,
release, how long it's going to take to get that.
I know how all of it goes, and we'll talk about that in another season on another show.
Yeah, that'll be season 7.
Yeah.
Of the Cosmick Voice.
Yeah. It's going to be called The End. We'll have to trademark that before Paul Stanley and Gene Simmons do. So
yes, that is correct. Yes.
You're listening to Cosmick Talk with Chris Natalini and Mick Michaels.
All right, man, let's get right to it. Today, we have a special guest. And listen, that's rare on any of our shows. You know how that goes. So we try to have at least one per season, even in a limited season. We are here today with Philadelphia author Dave Claw. He wrote Philly Metal Profiles from the Underground, where he pretty much did these profiles on a number of Philadelphia musicians. So, Dave, welcome to the show.
Hey guys. Thanks for having me.
What's happening, Dave? How are you, sir?
I'm pretty good.
Awesome.
Not too sweaty. Yeah.
Not yet.
Not yet.
It's good. A little sweat's good for you. Nothing wrong with it.
Yeah. Get rid of those toxins. You know what I mean?
That's right.
Sweat those out.
Yeah, drink some tea in the heat. You'll get rid of a lot of toxins. So, Dave, let's get right into it, brother. Like, what drove you to write that book, man?
Pre-pandemic, pre-COVID, I was really close to starting to kind of make like short documentaries of bands. I got some equipment. I was doing some photography. I was doing a website covering local bands. It was just a lot of fun. And I was hoping to work my way up to that. I did a kind of like a just do-it-yourself music video with the band Shark Bullet, who are great. I'm good buds with those guys. They're a really good thrash band.
Love those guys.
Yeah, they're excellent.
Love that band.
I was hoping to do more, and then COVID hit, and I was like, all right, well, I'm not doing that. And then, and then the book idea just sort of hit me one day because I'm a really big fan of music books and just reading in general. But I've read a lot of great music books, and whenever you take in something and it makes you want to do it, that's a good sign. So I just sort of worked my way up to it, and there was a little break off where I started to try to do a podcast. That kind of fell off after about 15 episodes, I think. Maybe 18. Editing is a lot, as you guys know. So yeah, then I came back to the book and I finished it. And it took 2 years, but I think I could have done it in a year and a half if there wasn't that break. But it was a lot of fun, and I look forward to do it more now. It's very comfortable for me. I have a background in writing, so it just makes a lot of sense.
Dave, you had said that you like music books. Do you like more like the autobiography music books, or like the history music books, or just music books in general?
I guess I like them both, but I do really like the ones that are kind of like what I sort of want to get into, and in the coming books I'm going to try to do, which is almost like a documentary in book form, because it lets you really kind of spread out. Yeah, documentary is usually 90 minutes to 2 hours. There's so much editing that goes into it. It's incredible. To write a book, you can let people kind of give a little more of their perspective. So books like Nothing to Lose about Kiss. There's a book on the Making a Destroyer. I'm sure you guys are familiar with these, but they're all really great. And yeah, those really, really inspired me a lot. And then there's also a book on the United States black metal scene by Daniel Lake. That was excellent. Yeah, and then there were some other underground books too that like Decibel's been putting out. They're just like utterly incredible. Like if it was a documentary, it would be 10 hours and it'd be the greatest, be the best documentary ever. Instead, it's an amazing book that you can read over and over.
Right.
Right. So yeah, those all really inspired me a lot.
Well, I guess in book form, one, it's a little bit more cost effective, but then you can actually go into greater detail, where sooner or later you're going to have a limitation with film, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And, it's just nice to do it yourself, as you guys know. Like, it's nice to just have all that control. If I were to make a film, I'd need a whole crew and
right. Oh,
yeah,
I see what you're saying. Yeah, right.
Yeah, and you'd have to get people to sit down and have hot lights on them and stuff. And people already are sometimes a little uncomfortable speaking. I like to hear people's stories, honestly. I actually really enjoy this. It's one of the things I like about my day job, too. I just love to meet people and learn their stories. So it's nice to be able to do that in a book and have a little more leeway.
I'm always big on people's stories. Like, I always like to hear experiences and things they've done, or things that me and Mick have talked about for the past 6 seasons, just our experiences and what we've gained from it. What would we do again? What wouldn't we do? Like, how to do this. So, I'm with you on that. I do enjoy that aspect of people.
Yeah, sometimes the behind the scenes is almost funner than the actual piece.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys have read like Martha's Vineyard Memories about Jaws. It's like the most incredible book ever. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Seeing how they made it. It's great.
Yeah, I love all that stuff. I like finding out about the person that makes the artist, hence one of the reasons I do the Cosmic View. But I like to kind of find those jewels in there, like that lesson learned thing that sometimes people's lives and experiences kind of bring forth to them. So, because I'm still searching myself, right? So I'm trying to find some light at the end of the tunnel. So I read a lot of biographies, autobiographies, especially within the music field. So it's pretty interesting. So why these particular artists, Dave? Like the ones that you picked, like what led you to choose them? Was there a particular thing you were looking for each artist, or was it just they happened to be there, right time, right place?
Definitely a mixture of availability and willingness. Also, though, I did try to have a specific like cross section. So admittedly, yeah, in a lot of ways it was people who were willing to say yes, but I was very serious about wanting a half female involvement, just because the scene has morphed and changed over the years, and there's a lot more females, and I think it's awesome. Yeah. So why not get their perspective as well? And then I tried to get a really good age range too. So I have people as young as like still in their 20s. There's a lot of folks that like just hit 30 are in the book. Mm-hmm. And then some are like I'm 40, so some are right around my age, and then some folks that were around in the 80s, like maybe you two. So,
right.
Yes. Which is awesome. Like, again, I think it was so useful. Some people like literally just started playing in bands. So like I think their perspective is valid and important. Like it should be at least documented in some way. And then again, people who've been in a bunch of bands and seen a whole lot. So I really enjoyed that aspect. It was done on purpose, but again, it was also who was willing to say yes. And admittedly, at first, getting half women involvement was difficult at times, just to make sure women were willing to buy in and stuff. And I don't mean that in a bad way. It's just women should be obviously a bit more. There's a lot of creeps out there. So you had. Well,
yeah, I mean, I get that. Getting an email from some random dude in 2024 going, "Hey, I'm writing a book about the metal scene, and I would like you to be in it." Like, I could totally understand how that would be a little weird in today's day and time, unless you have a personal relationship with these women.
Exactly. So I should give a huge thanks to Jackie Powell from Witching, who's really kind of making a name for themselves right now, by the way. Witching, they're hitting tours and stuff. But she was so incredibly helpful in like getting almost all the women after I talked to her. So we had a really great conversation. She's a super nice person, just a really interesting story, and she helped me a lot, and I really appreciate that. And then everyone else that came in, again, anyone that took the time, I am so thankful that they did, because I was obviously an untested commodity at that point. Even though I have a background in writing, I have no documented proof about that. So that was nice of everyone.
That's awesome.
It's good. It's good.
So awesome.
Is there one story in the book that stands out for you that really kind of either captured your imagination in terms of being an artist, or something that maybe personally moved you?
Oh yeah, so one that really jumps out, and it's just like really kind of profound, is Bob Stokes. He's in the band Octus.
Yeah,
they have two bassists and a cellist and a drummer, and they're a really heavy band, like very doomy, awesome. But he talked about losing a friend of his when they were in a different type of band. I think they were in a mathcore band together. But yeah, the guy he lived with him, he was only 33. He was a guitarist. He died of brain cancer. I mean, they were living together, and just kind of friends in this band for years. They were in the band Cloudminder, and then he passed away. Pretty heavy stuff. I mean, I know some of you guys, and I've been in bands with people that are now gone and left way too young, like in a way, it's just like,
oh yeah,
incredibly tragic. And yeah, he made a great point. He said, the guy's name was Dave, and he said, Dave was one of the first one where he was my age. We were living together, playing in the band together with housemates. It was just crazy. And so he's gone, but he said it literally lived longer than he did. The recording he did, it's his afterlife right here. And that's definitely something, this is Bob speaking, that made me respect and appreciate other people's music. It also realigned why I do a lot of the stuff that I do, because this is my epitaph that potentially could live on longer than I am. This is the only thing left here. And that was Bob Stokes speaking. But yeah, so it's pretty amazing. I mean, whenever we make something, it's going to be here until the AI robots take it and make their own stuff. And yeah, but until then, this is real. All this stuff we're doing. So it's a big deal. That really stuck with me. But otherwise, everyone's stories were ones of like overcoming obstacles, and you see a lot of the same stuff, but it's all positive. Music's so incredibly positive for people. And I think that's worth noting and documenting and sort of celebrating. Like, we should all be really thankful that we have this. It's pretty awesome.
How have you handled, or have you even heard people saying, oh, I should have been in the book, I should have been in the book? Have you heard that online scuttlebutt?
I don't.
That's all right. I'll tell you my story. So there was someone I saw online that was complaining about not being in the book, and I was like, listen, bro, maybe you're just not as relevant as you think you are. Look at the people in the book and look where and who you are. And in anything, right? If Mick and I were left out of the book, there would have never been, like, if you didn't ask me to do it on a personal level, I totally would have never even thought, well, I should be in the book. If you put everybody in the book would read like War and Peace. It's just not possible. But when he said it, I'm like, dude, like, you don't, like, what have you done? Like, okay, maybe you were cool back 25 years ago, but you haven't done anything, at least in the past 15, that would even should put you in the book. And I'm not trying to pat me and Mick on the back, like I'm not, but like me and Mick, like, we're still here doing it. You know what I mean? Like, we've done these things, and everybody that you put in the book is active at this time. And I even confronted someone else that's in the book, and I'm like, because he was in the thread, and I'm like, dude, how do you not stick up for the book? You're in the book. Like, you just, like, your only comment was, oh, he didn't ask you to be in the book? I'm like, no, dude. Like, no. Why didn't you stick up for the book and go, well, listen, maybe you're just not as cool as you think you are. When I read that kind of stuff, I go, man, take it for what it is. It's a cool thing. And I'm not saying that because I'm in it. I would say it if Mick was in it and I wasn't. I would say that if me and Mick wasn't in it, because there are some really cool stories in that book. And I think it's super important, from the bands that you put in there, because everybody is currently doing something right now, and being in the book and watching you work through this book and doing the work, it irritates me when people complain about it. And I go, man, yeah, it was a thing. I'm like, man, you don't, like, maybe you're just not good enough to be in the book. I don't know what to tell you.
Well, I guess if it's okay, I'll address that too. Because one, like, I have no problem with people having their own opinions about it. It's fine if they thought they should. Two, like you said, the baseline generally was that you are in a band that's active and like you're playing out live at least somewhat. If it's a project, that's awesome. But if you're only in projects, I probably wasn't going to ask you to be in the book.
Right.
And I guess the ultimate goal will be to have people have this on their merch tables. I'm doing a terrible job at achieving that goal, but that was at least some aspirational goal. But otherwise, I mean, I really did have a clear demographic thing I wanted to achieve. Like, I wanted to make sure to get people from different age groups and stuff. So
Yeah.
admittedly, yeah, I couldn't fit everyone. You know, if people are bent out of shape about that, that's totally understandable. I mean nothing against them. If anyone would like to do their own book or two, I really invite. Like honestly, I invite them
do
to.
it.
Yeah, but I mean that in a positive way. Like in all seriousness,
Of course.
if someone else wants to write about this or previous time period, because I know some people like want more of like an underground bender, like from the 90s or whatever, like write about the 90s underground scene or something, because I'm sure that was awesome. I would like encourage you to do it. If you have any questions, reach out, and I will happily read your work and like promote your work when it's done. So I do not see this as a competition or like in any way was like trying to exclude anyone. And if anyone talks about it at all, I appreciate that.
Well,
Thank
that's
you.
true too, right? Right. I
Yes.
mean, that's
send your,
good or
send your
bad.
money directly to me. Yes.
Yeah, good or bad. That's a good
Find
thing.
my PO box. Yes.
I mean, again, it becomes subjective in a sense. Like, you know, oh, well, this was
does,
left
Mick.
out or that was left out. I mean, who's to say, right? At the end of the day,
Right.
it is
Right.
the author's prerogative and decision who they're not going to put into the book. I think that, I mean, listen, we have talked about it even on the other show. Like, I mean, sometimes artists are the worst, right? They make things very difficult because so much is ruled by ego. Well, why wasn't I in the book? I don't know. If you're honest to yourself, you could probably list out about 10 things why you weren't in the book if you really were honest. Like, I wasn't even aware the book was happening, and then I get a message, and I was like, oh, wow. And then my thing to myself is, why would I be in the book? You know what I mean? I mean, and that's me being honest. Like, you know what I mean? Because in my opinion, in the Philly scene that I'm aware of, there's probably far greater people that should be, you know, in the book. But to get that request was an honor in my sense. I wound up looking at it. I figured, well, hell, this is a way to honor my guys, honor the scene that's done something for me, give back in a positive way. Like we've talked about before, sometimes complaining about it probably isn't the best way to help the scene. Writing about it, supporting it, and it is on my merch table, by the way, you know, is a way to support the scene. Because, like, on my merch table, yeah, I'm in the book. Chris, you're in the book. But there's a bunch of other artists that are sitting in the book that are sitting on my merch table along with my stuff. So they're being promoted as well because it's a collective. It's about the Philly scene, not about my band or your band or any one individual band per se. People sometimes, they lose perspective about things. Like, I mean, if there was a book about the 45 presidents or however there has been, and then they go, well, I wasn't in the book. I voted for one of them, two of them. Well, why would they put you in there? It's, you know, it's irrelevant.
Yeah.
So
It's weird.
It is weird. It's just people are weird.
Yeah.
But I do want to throw in that, like, in no way was this book meant to, nor do I pretend, nor do I want you to think it is exhaustive. Like, I did not have some kind of, like, panel of, like, experts and, like, make sure I pick out the 27 most important people in their age groups. I was just going with who I could find. And, you know, if the wind blew a different way, maybe you would have been in the book that day. Like, it's just a book.
Well,
I'm
again,
sorry.
clearly their online attitude probably would then say, man, I'm glad I didn't ask that person.
It just comes down to, like what Mick said, damaged egos. That's really all it is. That's what it comes down to. When someone reacts like that to me, that means that it's a damaged ego. And maybe you're realizing that, you know, maybe you didn't leave the mark that you think.
Exactly. I was about to say the same thing. And Dave, this has nothing to do with your book as what I'm about to say. But if you're hinging your career on one book, then you're not doing your due diligence. It's like if I'm hinging my career on one song, then I must not be doing that good of a job to write other songs or to play out or to do shows or to so on and so forth. It's a constant work in progress. And when you decide that it's done, well, then it's done. Don't expect anything in return from that point because you've ended it. And we've talked about that. When it's over, it's over. Major artists, they live tomorrow because of yesterday. I get it, right? That's their claim to fame. That's their cow, so to speak. But, you know, for the rest of us, well, you know, what I did 20 years ago, 25 years ago, basically, I should have a shirt that says, who cares? Who remembers? I don't. So.
When people say stuff like that, it's just damaged ego.
Yeah,
and,
it's bad.
You know, anybody that knows you knows that. And maybe you just didn't know their band, which that happens too. There's a million bands out there, and you can't expect to know every one of them. And it was silly. But I was just curious to see how or if you've run into any negative or snarky comments about it, because, you know, I mean, listen, we're musicians. A lot of us have thin skin, and we're dealing with egos, and we're dealing with jealousy and bitterness and, wanting to be the next big thing. And, not everybody helps everybody else. So, it's sometimes not very common to find someone that, has your back in this industry. So when you do, it's something really awesome to hold on to. It's how we are as artists, as musicians, and you are also an artist and a musician. And you know how you think and you know how you feel about things. And some guys just have to voice it on social media because it's what they live by.
Yeah. Well, I'm delightfully aloof, so you can praise or crap on me all you want. I really don't care. I have like a lot of other things I do. But it was a fun book, and I'm going to fix this because the next book is going to be pay to play. So if you can pledge to sell 50 books up front, you can be in it. And if you could sell 100, you can be in it twice. So there you go.
Well, I can tell you that the band that stirred up the trouble, they're not going to do anything about it. So don't even worry. You'll never hear from them. So don't worry about that.
There you go. Dave, let me ask you this. Do you find that you're a fan of all these styles of music that you've put in the book? Because as stated here on Brave Words, it's June 10th, 2023, after the book came out. From black metal, thrash, doom, and speed to stoner, rock, crossover, power violence, and traditional heavy metal with everything in between. And I quote. So do you find that you're a fan of all those styles and more, or was it more for, being able to, like you said, get that cross-section, get that content, and give people something to sink their teeth into?
I'd say both, as crazy as that is. But no, I actually do like at least a little bit of each of those genres, even if it's just a band here or there. Sometimes there's some genres I prefer live, or I don't want to listen to them as much at home, or the opposite. Yeah, I actually do kind of like all of it. I'm very, very into the extreme style, but I also really, really like the traditional style. And yeah, there's just a bunch of between. I mean, there's metallic hardcore, which is sort of like right on the edge there. It's just metal enough that it made it in. To me, that's a valid style, and it's pretty fun. And the last chapter is actually Jill from Ides and Stress Bells, and her band is very much a metallic hardcore band. But yeah, her story was amazing. It was awesome. And everyone's story. Again, cool to get a nice cross-section, and it was done by design.
Nice. Let me ask you, what did you learn from writing the book? Like, personally, was there something you learned from these people sharing their stories with you? As we hone our craft, becoming a better writer, learning the ins and outs of putting the project together and getting it out there. But did you learn anything from the stories from the artists that may have given you a life lesson to take away with?
Yeah, I'd say I definitely did learn just how empowering the music is. I mean, it's kind of incredible. As I went through the book, writing it and reading it, you see similar stories over and over, but you see things as hard as like people dealing with drug addiction, things that could literally kill you and end your life, and like getting out of that thanks to like playing music and stuff, to something as simple as, someone who maybe just needed like a community. But yeah, so I feel like the same story arc kind of almost took over throughout. But it's different enough because we all just have our own, individual aspects to our stories. It taught me just how important music is, I think, because I already knew it was really important to me, but just seeing that over and over really reinforced that. I guess one day, like, you wake up and you're 40, like me, and you go, oh, all my friends and anything I do that is any way social is tied to being in a really loud room. And I guess I'm okay. And I'm cool with it. Like, that's fine. That's where I'm at. It's what I do. And I think that's what we all do, and it's fine. Maybe I accept myself a little more now.
Sylvester Stallone claimed that Rocky was a love story. So would you venture to say that Philly metal is not so much a biography type of thing or profile, it's more of an inspirational tale?
I think without meaning to, it probably is. Just because, again, every person... Like, no one ends their chapter like, oh, I gotta quit, I'm done with this. Or
we end our show like that all the time.
Yeah, pretty much.
The front half. But yeah, so I do think I guess it is sort of, in a way, it was like my love letter to the underground. Like, it's not from me, it's about other people. But I did definitely go into this writing the book thinking, like, underground music means so much to me. And I happily gave 2 years of my life to write this, and I'll happily give more to write more, because I think it should be documented. And what we have in Philly is just really cool. I know people complain. I know there's nowhere to play, and they charge you money, and they kick you in the butt, and they take your lunch money and stuff, and it's horrible. But it's still really cool. Like, there's still bands, there's still loud rooms we can go into and hang out and just enjoy music. And we don't have to drink or do drugs or do horrible things to have fun. We can just watch loud bands, and it's rad.
Dave, is there, and you don't have to say, maybe why they weren't in the book or you never got a hold of them. Is there a band that you wish you would have gotten a hold of to be in the book?
There's a few I regret, like a few people who maybe I know or I know their band, and I kind of wish I could have fit them in, but again, that kind of demographic was already filled.
Yeah. I see. Yeah.
Yeah. But again, when people want to say I only put my friends in, I don't have this many friends. Okay, I got like 2 or 3 friends, bro. I know people in bands. I've known a lot of people. I've been in a lot of bands. But yeah, this wasn't just the people I knew, because there's a lot that I know that I did leave out, and it would have been awesome to have them in there. I wanted to make sure to try to give the best cross section I could in the amount of time I had with the ability I have to get this thing done, because whenever you do a project, as you guys know, it has to get done. You could mix your album for 5 years and it might not sound better than if you mixed it in 1 year. So just mix the damn thing and get it out there. So I had to get the book out there.
Is there a band that is in the book that you really didn't know of previous to you writing it? Now you look back and go, man, I'm a fan of that band.
Definitely. Yeah, there's definitely a few where
oh, cool.
That, or like I knew their name, but I didn't really listen to them too close.
Mm-hmm.
And getting them in the book was awesome. Actually, like I mentioned, Bob and Octus. Octus was a little new, but I don't think I quite knew they existed. And I'm really into a lot of the doom and sludge and stuff, so that they blew me away. And they're amazing live, by the way. I've seen them live a few times. Yeah. If you can, check them out, definitely. But yeah, literally every band I became a huge fan of.
That's
and
cool.
some I already was to a degree, some I am more now. Yeah, I mean, I'm probably like you guys. Like every week now, I just keep an eye on what's new, and I just love hearing new underground music. Like, it's amazing. I don't care if it's all black metal or death metal. I love it, and it all sounds the same, but it's all incredible. So I really appreciate everyone that was in the book. And hey, if you have a band, reach out. I want to hear you.
Awesome.
Is there going to be more, Dave? Like more books like this? Like, are you going to expand on the Philly metal premise, or are you going to do something different? I know I seen some reviews and stuff. Some people had said that they thought it was a different kind of book talking about the Philly metal scene. Like, could this be a series? A possible series?
I think it could. I'm not sure that I'm the person to do it. We'll see. But yeah, I should, just to make that clear, yeah, if anyone reads this book thinking it's an exhaustive history, or again, exhaustive in any way, I'm sorry, it's not. It's just a series of profiles. To me, that was more personal in a way. But yeah, I do have some books coming up soon, hopefully within the next year, maybe less. So I have a biography of a band, which I'm really excited about. Again, being a huge Kiss fan and fan of Kiss books, and it's so cool when you can just take that one subject and just give you
build
that
on
whole
that
story. Yeah, just to see the arc, see the story. It's a lot of fun. So that's what I'm working on, and then I am gonna step back and try to work on a little bit about the beginning of the Philly rock and metal scene soon. So I'm working with some guys you may know on that. So yeah, that's gonna have some co-authors, that one, but I'm looking forward to that.
That's awesome.
Nice. Where can people get the book, brother? Where can they get Philly metal profiles from the underground?
It's on Amazon in print or Kindle form. And then if you'd like to you can go to daveclawwriter.com and you'll see some links there. I also have been recently trying to do a little more short stories on professional wrestling, because I really like professional wrestling. So fictional short stories. I'm trying to put them on my website. Hopefully that'll become something. If you want, you can also go to my publisher, screambloodybooks.com. And I also have the phillymetalbook.com URL at the moment. But if I decide to stop paying for that, go to the other websites. I'm sorry.
Totally get it, man. Totally get it. Chris, you got anything else you want to ask?
I do not, Dave. It was a pleasure speaking to you and having you on the show. And I love the book. I would have loved the book if I wasn't in it. But thank you for having me. I was very honored and flattered. And I love the book. And there were some great stories in there. And I really appreciate you, man. I appreciate your talents. And I appreciate your love for pro wrestling also.
Yeah.
Well, thanks again to both of you guys for appearing too. I don't know if I thanked you enough, but seriously, it was so helpful to have people who have these storied careers appear in the book. I honestly feel like those chapters are kind of like the bedrock chapters. Without them, the book's still cool, but you don't get the same range. So I really, really appreciate both of you guys taking the time to appear in there. And again, thanks so much for having me here. I really appreciate it. And thanks to everyone.
Thank you, Dave, on all those accounts. We really do appreciate it. There you go. If you like that episode, check out some of our other episodes at www.thecosmickvoice.com. Step into the Cosmic Verse and talk it up with us. Thanks so much for listening. This is Cosmick Talk.